So as I begin my talk, I want to thank Reverend Michelle Ingalls, and she has shared some notes about this topic with all of the ministers in the Centers for Spiritual Living organization. And I loved what she had to say, and some of what I say today will come from her. So you are a spiritual broadcasting station. All of us are spiritual broadcasting stations. We are here to absolutely radiate out the love, to hold the love, to feel the love, to, and I'm going to have to remember to hold my remote out here.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
that.
it's not that?
It's the wire.
Oh, it's the wire. Okay, I'll be still. So, have you ever walked into a meeting or into a room or into somebody's presence or even into your own home and just felt those vibes that just don't feel, yeah, right, just felt those vibes that don't feel very well? Come on in. And the kind of vibes that make you immediately want to run out of the room or at least extricate yourself in some amazing way. Now maybe those were angry vibes or hopeless vibes or maybe they were creepy vibes. I have certainly felt some of those before. And maybe there's a person that you like to kind of avoid because every time you're around them they bring you down, they suck your energy. Or, on the other hand, maybe there are places that you love to go and people that you absolutely love to be with because they make you smile. When you leave their presence, you are happy, you're glad to have been there. And so those are kind of, we know about vibrations. We know that there are those energies that we can feel. And I absolutely know that I can feel this morning, on Friday night, we had an amazing experience here. I forgot to take the little posters down. It was Dr. Dream, and he had 33 Tibetan healing bowls. And we had an experience where he and his partner played the bowls, where we did chakra balancing for each chakra. There was a sacred chocolate, sacred essential oil, and then the chiming of the bowls for each chakra, for each person. And so I can just really even feel the energy of that here still. It's just an amazing energy. And when folks come into our center, often they mention the sweet energy that is here, the loving energy, how welcome they feel. And that's true of many centers for spiritual living. People come in and say, whoa, I felt like I was coming home. It was so comfortable. They spoke to me. So, of course, it's the vibrational frequency of love that allows us to feel that. When we are open to love, we are open to the feeling of that, oh, I'm home, I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm loved. And isn't that just the absolute sweetest thing? And we can choose that frequency because I think love is our natural frequency. I think it's what we are here for. What the world needs now is for more of us to show up as the love that we absolutely are in all of our being. Now, vibrations. Every thought, every feeling, every action, every word carries with it a particular frequency of vibration. It's like tuning into a radio station. The very word tuning, in conjunction with radio, is when you turn the dial to the or we do it some other ways too, yeah, not always a little round dial like it used to be, but we turn the dial until we reach the perfect frequency for the station that we want to listen to. And we are at choice as to what station we listen to. Now, the ultimate broadcaster of love is the divine source, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. That is the essence of love that is here for each of us that is here as each of us, as the absolute core of who we are. And to the degree that we are tuned into that, to spirit, that's how we can let the world have what it needs now, which is love. That's how we can let that love flow through us. Because, bless you, before we can broadcast it out, we have to be open to take it in. Open to take it in. Now, the Heart Math Institute has been doing fascinating research on the heart and its electromagnetic frequencies and vibrations for years. They've done some incredible work. The heart generates the most powerful electromagnetic frequency of the whole body. It's like when they measure it with an electrocardiogram, it's about 60 times more powerful than the amplitude of the brain waves. So our hearts, they're the ones that radiate out. I mean, our brains, they radiate out also, but it's our hearts that really, really are absolutely amazing. And heart math studies show that the heart's powerful electromagnetic force can be felt. I mean, it's not just within me, but it can be felt outside for, I think they say, 8 feet past my body. And you know, that's only with the equipment that we have now. I suspect that as instrumentation progresses, that they will realize that our vibes go out so much further than we could have ever imagined. I mean, think about it. So many of us here have shared thoughts and feelings with people even thousands of miles away. We don't know how that stuff travels, but it travels, and energy is real. Energy is real. Each of our thoughts and beliefs and feelings does have a particular vibrational tone, vibrational frequency. And David Hawkins, in his book Power versus Force, created a scale, and the scale measures the energetic vibration of various feelings and states of mind. And it ranges from 0 to 1,000, with enlightenment hitting at about 750. So if anybody's at 750 yet, let me know, because you need to be up here. And the lower vibrations, you know, are shame and guilt and apathy and grief and fear. And then the higher vibrations before enlightenment are love and joy and peace. Those things that we want more of in our lives. It's said that the Dalai Lama's vibration is consistently at 1,000. Now, I don't know exactly how they measure this, but they have ways, you know, these scientists have ways to do that. And I know that love and joy and peace and all of their relations, all of the things that are like them, they produce that feeling within us that is sweet, that is alive, that is aware, that wants to share and give and love. I think that's where all of us would like to live all of the time. Because of course the higher we get on that scale, the more ease and grace, the more expanded our life is, the more we can let go and let God and enjoy. Now, we broadcast into the creative law. We broadcast with our words and with our thoughts and with our feelings and with our actions. We broadcast out into this creative process what we want it to act upon, what we want more of. Now, think about, if you can remember the first thing you thought about this morning when you woke up, the first thing that your mind grabbed onto and started to chew on. Maybe it's the news. Oh, maybe it's, am I going to be late? Maybe it was some other troubling thing. Or maybe the first thing that your mind grabbed onto was just gratitude for the day. Gratitude for the morning. Gratitude for some beloved spouse or partner or child or some other person or pet in our lives. Those feelings of gratitude when we wake up in the morning, they set the tone of the day. They absolutely let the universe know, hey, I want more of this. I want more to be grateful for. Bring it on. Bring it on. Because whatever you woke up feeling and thinking about, those were the thoughts that went into the creative law. Now we can change that at any time, of course, during the day. You're not stuck with what you woke up with. But that is a wonderful opportunity to set the tone for the day. Our teaching is that we get more of what we dwell on. We get more of that energetic frequency of what we're focusing on and dwelling on. More of the experiences that have the same kind of vibration that we are putting out. We get more of what we dwell on. Now, you may get tired of me saying that because you hear me say that a lot. We get more of what we dwell on. And I want to let you know, here's the deal. I don't just keep saying that because I think all of you need to remember it. I keep saying it because I too need to be reminded of that. We get more of what we dwell on. And if there are any of you out there that think that ministers remember this stuff all the time, well, I'm here to tell you that we are just humans like everybody else. I don't remember it all the time, and I don't know any ministers who do. I mean, our teaching is about spiritual practice. And I am practicing just like you are, reaching further and further up that vibrational scale. So you up for doing an experiment this week? Anybody like experiments? Okay. So, and some of you may be doing this already, but before you go to bed each night, think of 5 things that you're grateful for. If possible, let this be the last things you think of before you drift off to sleep. Just 5 things. And then in the morning, when you wake up, first thing, another 5 things. And if you start your day like that, as an experiment, and watch what happens, I think that you may find that that's something that you want to continue doing, because it certainly is. It certainly is an absolute blessing. Now, we can tune our receiver to any station we want. We can send out to the universe any messages we want, knowing that that's what we will get back. And so as we share love, as we share joy, as we share wonder and awe, that's what we get to walk around in, and that's what we have available to share with others. And the world is so in need of all of us sharing all of the good that we can. And of course there are ways to move to a higher vibration, ways to move up that scale. Abraham Hicks says, reach for a thought that feels better. Now, an example of that is if you're depressed, then you might not be able to immediately reach for absolute joy. But if you reach for something that feels a little bit better, hopefulness, if you reach for something that is just one step better, then step by step, as you reach for a step that feels better, you will be amazed how you keep moving up that emotional scale. And then, of course, to raise our vibration, we can pray, we can meditate, we can play. Play is important, folks, don't forget it. And we can give and we can share. We can be grateful for everything in our lives. And we can cultivate wonder and awe. Taking time to look at the hummingbird. Taking time to feel the air. Taking time to use these amazing physical bodies that we have to contemplate and to appreciate all that we have been given. Another thing we can do is we can watch where our attention goes. Watch where we're putting our attention. I have a story to go with that. One day a professor entered his classroom and asked his students to prepare for a surprise test. So they all waited anxiously and not too happily at their desks for the exam papers to come around. So he passes the papers out all face down, and once everybody has their papers, he asks them to turn them over. And much to their surprise, they see a piece of paper with a black dot in the middle. And they all have some pretty puzzled looks on their face, because this is supposed to be a test. So he says, what I want you to write about is what you see there. I want you to write about what you see. And so the confused students wrote about what they saw. And of course, they weren't quite sure what he wanted. And we know as students, we're always looking for what the teacher wants. And so they described how this dot is perfectly in the center, and how smooth the edges were, and how round it was, and how it was just such a wonderful, perfect black dot. So then he collects all the papers, and he says, I'm going to read these out loud, because even though people tried, they couldn't write very much about these black dots. And so he read them, and every one of them described the black dot very well, very well. But he said, no one wrote about the white part of the paper. Everyone wrote about the black dot. And that's kind of what we do sometimes in our lives. We think about that one thing. Maybe it's a health issue, maybe it's a relationship issue, maybe it's a money issue, but we focus on that one thing and we miss all of the beauty, all of that clarity that is around it. And so we can raise our vibration by paying attention to what it is we think about and focus on. So he ended up by saying, the dark spots are very small when compared to everything we have in our lives, but they're the ones that pollute our mind. Take your eyes away from the black dots. Enjoy each one of your blessings, each moment life gives you. Be happy and live a life filled with love. Pretty good advice there. So I invite you today and this week to remember, not only are you putting out your personal broadcast to the universe and what you share with others, but we as a collective can be a wonderful broadcasting station for good in our world. And does our world not need that now? Does our world not always need that? Roland McCready, PhD, who is HeartMath Institute's Director of Research, said this: I believe humanity is at a unique point in its evolutionary history of consciousness. We now have an opportunity and the intelligence to make more empowered choices to create a cooperative and harmoniously connected world. More people than ever are being nudged from their hearts to take more self-responsibility for the attitudes, thoughts, and feelings that they are feeding into the energetic field that connects us all. And I was interested to see this quote from Dr. Ernest Holmes that he wrote in 1952, and it still applies. It is our simple and sincere conviction that if millions of people were affirmatively praying every day for our nation and for our leaders, spiritual powers would be loosed across the country, which would impel it into right action. America is the great dream of the ages. Let us keep this dream fresh and fair in our minds, and through our united faith, create a spirit of unity and solidarity against which the waves of disruption beat in vain. So we are all radio receivers and broadcasting stations, all of us. We broadcast into the creative law who we believe we are, and we broadcast into that creative law what we think about the world, what we have decided is true about the world in our families, our world in our communities, and our larger world. We get to look at our beliefs about that. And what we believe, well, that's what we get more of. The universe says yes, always. It doesn't say, oh, you don't really want that, so I'm going to give you something better. It says, you're calling out with an energy of love and grace. I'm going to bring you some more love and grace. You're calling out with an energy of more divisiveness. Okay, I'll give you more of that. Whatever it is we focus on, we just keep hearing a universal yes to. And we can tune our radio station to any station we choose. We receive the goodness, the love, the joy of the divine as we open to it. As we are willing to not only take it in for our own lives, but to let it move through us, to share it with others, others that we know, others in our family, others across the world. For we can make that kind of difference with our amazing, amazing thoughts. Now, I'm going to close with a short quote, and I have a question for you. The quote is by Tagore. He wrote, "I have spent my time stringing and unstringing my instrument, while the song I came to sing remains unsung. I've spent my time stringing and unstringing my instrument, while the song I came to sing remains unsung." So what vibration have you come to share with the world? What gifts have you come to share with the world? And what will happen if you don't share them? I mean, are you sharing your vibration? Or are you going to let the song that only you can sing go unsung? You are amazing expressions of the divine, each of us here, to serve in our own unique ways. It doesn't have to be something huge. It can be absolutely tuning into the people that are around us, tuning into the animals that are around us, tuning into nature, letting those good feelings, those good vibrations miraculously flow out into the world. We don't have to all be superheroes. There are everyday miracles that happen all the time. We get to enjoy those, we get to use them, we get to share them. And I encourage all of you to share your song, share your vibration in the way that only you can. Are you with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. As practitioners stand, let's take that into prayer. am grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful for the love that is represented in this room, for the love that flows to us from the divine and that flows through us as we broadcast our love, our joy to the world, as we broadcast our peace, our caring, our sharing. I'm just so grateful that we have this opportunity, for I know that the world needs what each of us has come to bring. I know that the world needs my song and your song and your neighbor's song. The world needs all of our songs to evolve and grow in a way that leads us to greater peace and greater joy and greater love. I claim a world that works for everyone. I claim that the energy that we put out continues to move us as humanity forward to a world where people have what they need to eat, where they have the freedom to worship as they desire, where they have shelter, and oh my goodness, where they have opportunities to learn, to grow, to be all that they have come here to be. That's the world we are creating, my dears. That's the world that we get to put our vibration and our energy into as we watch, observe, and experience the miracles that are all around us. And so I know that as each of us goes into our week, our path is filled with all that we need, all of the reminders, all of the resources, all of the ideas, all of the support for us to be the very best that we can be at bringing our song to the world. And I am so grateful that this is so, that because I have spoken these words, because I have put this vibration into the creative law, that it says yes. And so I encourage each one hearing my voice to keep your eyes and ears and hearts wide open for the miracles that come to you in so many ways this week and going forward. So I let this go, I let it be, I rejoice in it, I know it's done, and so it is.
So it is.